Hello, my name is John Sveck. Welcome to this ALL24 video. Coach Waterman and I are joined today by Coach Chris Hopkins, who is the offensive line coach at Carleton University. Thanks for being with us, Coach.
Yeah, excited to talk ball, excited to talk offensive line, and
Is
let's
working
get
pass
this thing
rush
going.
counters.
Is that there's so much you spend so much time working on the sets and getting yourself there, but not many teams are being in the position where they're working on how do I counter. There's a lot of times, and you would ask Coach Dave that you sit there and watch O-line one-on-ones, and you're like, yeah, you're in a good spot, but your hands are low, or he works the rip and you can't reset your hands. So this is an opportunity where we can start to slow it down a little bit more, but we can work some of that, the pass rush counter. So the big thing for me is building muscle memory. I cannot move like I used to. There's no question about that. But I can still, I know exactly how my hands have to go to counter a rip. You know what I mean? And that's it's a lot of the hand fighting stuff that they're doing in the States, and a lot of that stuff that they're just building muscle memory of where their hands have to go and as quick as they can. And this is what we're trying to tackle in that period, is that traditionally for the interior guys, we're going to work a lot of power. So we're going to work kind of the rip counter, where we're going to punch the sternum, punch the hip, working up the speed bull or the bull rush, or being in a position where we're going to basically set back, roll our hips through and drive. And then at the tackle position, we're going to work the speed stuff, with speed bull kind of incorporated, because speed bull's one that tackles traditionally have trouble with, but working some of the arm over stuff and the long arm and how to counter it. And we talk a lot in this period about reads and how we read the defender as well. So what we're talking about is that basically you have three reads as an offensive lineman. So you're going to get a chest read, where basically you set to your spot and he's coming right down the middle of you, where you basically get a good shot of the chest or good eyes on the chest. You're going to get a shoulder read, which is traditionally your speed rush, where the shoulder's going to go outside. And you're going to get the in read, where he's going to start to come back in, and you'll see that outside shoulder start to come back in. So we talk a lot about hand placement, obviously, and putting your hands in the right spot, but also being in a position where what's the read that you got? Well, I got a shoulder read outside. Well, then you probably have to set another step if you want to get your hands in the right position, and being in a position where at the guard position, what did you get? Well, I got an out and in. Well, you got to bring your feet here. This is one where your hands aren't going to be enough. Don't let your feet fall behind. And, it's still coaching the traditional pass rush or the pass set, skills. And we talk a lot about posture and your feet and your hands, but, the reward at the end of the day is that we get a whole bunch of reps countering what we're seeing from the defensive line. And we've seen pretty quick results in that because of this period and because of the progression from the pass set period into this one.
So you need a little more from your show guys, those O-linemen acting as the show guys when you get to this phase, I assume.
Yeah, so you got one of two worlds. You got the guy who just steps across, and then you got the guy who thinks he's like Dwight Freeney.
Yeah.
So
It's fine
yeah.
now, coach. It's fine to
Yeah.
be a rush end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the biggest thing and through all of this is that just as much as you're coaching your offensive line, you got to coach your looks. And there's times where I'll bring up individual drills and be like, man, this is just not a good look. This is a wasted rep for the offensive line because the look guy doesn't want to get it done for him. So, one thing that I will say is that, the philosophy and the tempo that we have in our drill really helps us, is that our offensive line has gotten used to moving quick, and being able to capitalize on our time as much as possible. And, I'm not a dictator. I'll still give them their rest and still give them water and a blow, but being able to be in the position where once we're lined up, we're going to get some stuff done. And I'm not going to sit there and coach for 20 minutes after each rep. I want to be able to be in a position where you have to coach yourself a little bit through it, but also that you're going to get as many reps as you can.
Phenomenal. That's a great breakdown, Coach. Coach Waterman, any final thoughts on that?
No, I think there's so many really great points in that tempo, and I really liked how you emphasized that, that look portion of it. So critical is to try to teach those guys, those players, that to buy into giving a great look for the offensive guys, so that they can get the quality of rep that they need, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
that's a huge key in any drill you're doing, right? Like you said, nailed it. Coach up the look guy and get the look you want.
Yeah.